Hey everyone, welcome to the Game or Die channel. My name is Ryan Moore, and tonight I'm going to be showing you a brand new game, and I want to give a shout out to Zen Pinball for hooking me up with this game, Pinball FX VR. Now, if you're not familiar with my channel or anything like that, I love pinball. I play virtual game pinball all the time on the channel, and it's like one of my new favorite things over the last couple of years. I got really into it over the course of the summer of 2023. So we get to play some pinball in VR, and we're going to do that in just a moment here. But like I said, Pinball FX VR, if you haven't played any of the Zen pinball games, they are mostly a kind of nuanced, unrealistic type of pinball where gravity, makes the ball react and physics don't react normally. But they did branch out and actually acquire the licenses for a lot of real world pinball games. And so that's what we're going to be playing here today with this new version. Originally, back in like 2017, 2018, they did have a Pinball VR version for the Oculus Quest, or sorry, the Oculus Rift, and it was really cool, but there was only just a handful of tables, and they were okay. But they've kind of rebuilt a lot of their infrastructure from the ground up into this new version of VR, and we're gonna play it today. It's gonna be super fun. So let's get started with a little bit of Pinball FX VR. Okay, so we are loaded into the game, and you can see that I'm actually in this environment of being in a basement of arcades, pinball tables. But not only just our pinball tables, there's a lot of interactive stuff that you can actually do. You can interact by picking up soda cans. You can go over to machines and actually pull out coins and insert them into the machine and actually get some. Let's get a little bit of carbon. Let's get some carbon here. And right now you can't open or drink it or anything like that. It is just a prop for now, but I'm assuming they're going to actually start, building this out into maybe hopefully a more interactive virtual hangout. Because I would love that because, dude, look at this. Look at how cool all of this stuff is. We actually have a whole area where we can see our trophies and display them. So we can grab this trophy. I got it for quick playing a game in the lobby. And I got this one for exploring all the rooms in the arcade. And so there's a lot of stuff that you get to unlock by playing the game. And you can showcase them in this wheel. So like this one, unlock a table mastery on any table. And it just kind of slowly spins around. And right now, like I said, I'm the only one here, but it would be rad if I could invite my friends to be able to play this too. Because if I wanted to, I can actually customize this layout. You can see it's a basement layout, but if I wanted to have golden elegance, wait for it. Ooh, everyone says, as now the layout has become more elegant with its golden neon lights. And even so, we could even change it to more of a movie theater type of location with the different colored red and purples and blue neons and more of a, movie theater layout to the floor and stuff like that. But not only that, we can actually play some music too. Again, there's a lot of unlockables. And if you go over here, not only can we buy stuff, we can buy tables like, I'm kind of a little bit bummed. That kind of ruined the surprise for it to show up like that. Well, just pretend you didn't see that, all right? But we've got this spinning wheel that we accumulate tickets, and we can actually spin this wheel to unlock stuff. You get to unlock different hands, different ball effects, floor patterns, and movie posters, different flippers for some of the different arcades. Like I said, music and tapes, wall patterns, balls. Like there's just so many different things that you can unlock by accumulating the tickets and then spinning the wheel like in Wheel of Fortune or whatever, right? So maybe a little bit later on we'll do that. But Let's be honest. The real reason why we're here is to play pinball. Like I said, I love pinball. I think it's one of the coolest things going for virtual reality right now, being able to feel like I'm actually standing at a table and playing the game. So this whole area is very customized. We can have our favorites here. So we got a little favorite table, and we can customize that by saying, oh no, I want the Curse of the Mummy instead. So there we go. Now we have the Curse of the Mummy as the different table. I actually want to change it back to Pinball Noir because that's one of my favorite tables here that we have in the lobby. So if I wanted to, I could just load up and get immediately into my favorite table. So let's play just a quick round of Pinball Noir, and let's have some fun here. Let's see how well I do while I'm recording myself, because when I'm under pressure, sometimes I kind of mess up.
I was out of work again when she stepped into my office.
Yeah, she stepped in my office. See?
A genuine knockout.
This is the cool thing about this, is with a lot of these pinball tables, there's special effects for the VR version where we get this, noir, hard-boiled cop, detective, PI, private dick that is kind of hanging out and, talking to us while we play. But we're just going to play. We're going to have our ball launcher or plunger, and we're just going to pull that and play a little bit. And so far, I'm doing okay. I haven't let the ball go down into the hole just yet, so I feel good about this. And again, you can adjust the plunger, or you could just push A to launch it at full tilt. Hey, look at that. It went right down into the revolver. That reminds me, I got to get my 44 Magnum fixed. I have a 44 Magnum revolver, and the chamber actually does not close all the way, so I got to get that fixed. But that's neither here nor there. We're here for pinball, and oh, there we go. Oh, no. We got a little bit of rain going on. See, again, the effects are actually really cool. I love this.
Only one bullet.
All right, so ball number 2, down and around. Now, the one thing that I'm kind of thinking to myself while I'm playing this is I want to show off the tables. I want to show off my skills, but I don't want some of these tables to go too long because there's so many things to show off, right? And I will say a lot of these Zen Pinball original tables, Curse of the Mummy, Pinball Noir, Sky Pirates, these are tables that can go very, very, very long if you are paying attention and really trying and attempting to get a good score. Now, I'm just kind of casually playing right now, so don't judge me too harshly.
Only one bullet.
Yeah, but judge me just enough to go, ooh, he's so good at pinball. He's a pinball wizard, right? Because anytime you talk about pinball, you got to talk about the Who's classic Pinball Wizard.
Only one bullet.
And I was even thinking, should I make that joke or not? And I did, and I kind of regret it. But that's okay. Yeah, all right. So, this table, a lot like other tables, there's a lot going on in these tables. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can still get good scores, but you don't get the enjoyment out of it. That was one of the things that I actually really learned a few years ago when I got back into video pinball.
Hi, darling.
Where
you ought to be a movie star.
There's storylines to tables. There's extra things and objectives that I had no idea of as a kid. As a kid, you would just flip the bumpers and hit the ball as hard as you can and try and get, it to stay up in the top part of the table as long as possible. You were never really thinking much more than, I remember my uncle actually showed me how to hold the ball and then get it so that you can control the ball a little bit better. That was the only thing that I really learned about pinball. But when I started actually playing some of these older classic tables, I realized, oh, there's a lot more nuance to pinball than just high scores. So I really like that, and I think that was super awesome to learn. Oh no, all my... All my balls. We got a multi-ball. And some of those balls are going down the gutter, down in the middle. This is kind of my luck, is sometimes I just have really bad luck with multi-balls or certain tables where those balls go directly into the gutter without even me being able to touch it when it first comes out. So I'm always kind of a little bit bummed sometimes when I get a multi-ball or a certain table where it just is like, oh man, the cards are stacked against me. Shadow value, 4,500,000. I'll take it. I'll take it. But, oh, there we go. All right, there's ball 3.
Until now.
Is there a cat? Oh, I didn't even notice this. We got some police lines, do not cross. We got a trash can and a baseball bat, like a crime scene. See, that's what I love about this is when you play these games, you actually are able to kind of notice certain things later on. So I love that. Now, my score is 1,619,504, right? So we're going to see my leaderboard now for the whole thing, all time for all leaderboards. And where am I in this? Hey, number 19. I'll take it. I'll take a top 20 in the world for this pinball table. My first time. That was the first time I played this table in this particular version of the game. Now, like I said, there's a lot of stuff. You get to see, go to the store and buy other extra pinball tables. There's some lounge areas and even some darts. So we're going to see how well I do on darts. Okay, that didn't go very well. I actually might have to back up just a little bit so that I don't hit the microphone. Hey, I got that. Well, that one didn't work. That was a mulligan, right? We got a 5. Yeah, 16. And okay, that didn't work, but that's okay. We can reset that if we wanted to and have a good old time. Now, I'm sitting down right now just because my studio is in a little bit of state of disarray by rebuilding a lot of it, in the middle of building and semi-rebuilding certain areas. But I did want to show off this game in all its glory, so you got to see me play a little bit of darts, not very well, and that's okay. One of the coolest things about this version of the game is there's actually a campaign. Like a storyline, you know, like single player mode to allow you to actually work on objectives. And I love that. So there's some achievements only available in the campaign mode, and a mastery can level up only once per game. And you can kind of see here, you've got some different achievements that you can get only in this mode that will allow 3 decoration items or earn 3 stars. And like when you earn this stuff, you get all these benefits: fail-safe skill shot, challenge limitless, multi-ball amplifier, and things like that. So we're going to try a couple of the campaigns. Let's see how I can do this. So we can actually pull and move the world around. And yeah, you know what? Let's do the Twilight Zone. That's a fun table. So this one is an enigmatic escapade. Start a single player timed challenge and aim for the highest score possible during a set amount of time. Unlimited ball saves. So basically, it's time attack mode, and I have as many balls in this table as I want. They can just keep going down the gutter, and I'll just keep getting another one until the time runs out. So our single player score is a 30 million point, and we've got 4 minutes. We ready? All right, here we go. And with all of these tables, they have these visual enhancements on them that have all these things going on, like that robot and what is that? A gumball machine and stuff. So it's kind of cool to be able to see some of that extra stuff that they put into this version of the game, and I love that. Now, This, I always used to say, was one of my favorite tables, and mostly because I love the Twilight Zone so much, and look at that. The door opens, and my mind is open to a world of infinite possibilities. I've stepped into the Twilight Zone. But this was a table that always kind of captured my imagination, mostly because how much I love the original TV series. It was really cool. My wife and I actually got really into the series a few years ago. When we moved out here to Tennessee, one of the things that we started doing when we first moved, and we didn't have any furniture, and we just had lawn chairs in the middle of our family room, just 2 lawn chairs and a laptop. And we started watching The Twilight Zone. Because we were just like, what can we watch? Well, we're tired. We just moved across the country. And so we started watching The Twilight Zone, and man, she dug it. I've seen it over the years, but I never really watched all the way through, and it was a blast to watch it together. And it's like one of my favorite things of our bonding time is watching TV shows together and getting really, really into them. But like I said, this table holds a special place in my heart, but I never really got good at it. And I always said if I could own a pinball table, which I've never actually owned before. I've owned arcade cabinets, but I've never owned a pinball table. I would love to own this table. This would be one of my I'd say top 10 tables that I would love to own. It used to be number 1. But honestly, I think I've played a few extra different tables in my life now at this point, that there are probably 5 to 8 tables that I would rather own than the Twilight Zone. But I still really enjoy it. It's still really fun. It's a great table. And I'm getting some good scores here. 9 million. I think we're gonna get 2 stars, hopefully, if I can just, oh, come on, get that bulb, pop it up. And I love how the ball actually looks different. It's a white ball, right? Like an eyeball. Hey, we got 2 stars. And we got still a minute left. Oh my gosh. Well, I gotta tell you, I'm super excited. I'm stoked that I at least got that. And we're still going, man. We're still going. So I'll be quiet for just a moment so that you can kind of hear the table a little bit and what's going on with it.
Beyond this door
is a dimension of sight and sound. Classic Rod Serling lines. Ugh. Something's happening. Beep-bop, 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 beep-bop. Oh no! Oh no! Multi-ball! Multi-ball! Oh, and the time is up, but look at my score. I got over 100 million in 4 minutes. I am number 2 on the leaderboard for that. And now, look, I said, I got some more rewards. So we got a score gift. Anytime you collect enough scores, you gain a bonus score reward, fail-safe skill shot, and some spins. So we got a spin. We're gonna claim that, and we're gonna exit out. All right, so I'm sweating up a little storm here. It's really warm today. It is the first time it's been warm in about 4 months. It's 80 degrees inside the studio, so I'm a little warm. But that is basically the campaign mode, and I really, really like it. I think it's fantastic, and as I play more of those, I'll unlock other extra things. You can see you got to get 3. I have 3 stars already, and I need 4 to unlock this section. I need 8 to unlock this section, and 10 to unlock that section. And that's just for Twilight Zone. Right? So each table, we got World Cup Soccer and some of the Universal Pinball tables and stuff. Each one of those has their own campaign. So I think that's really interesting. But let's take a look at the actual arcade, shall we? So in this first area, we've got our Zen Studio level where all the Zen Studios, their original tables that have that goofy, unrealistic physics applied to them. These are the tables that we've got going on. Sky Pirates, I love pirates, one of my favorite things in the entire world. This is a really cool table. There's actually a portion where if you get enough score and you do some objectives, you actually go into like a first-person cannon mode, and it's really, really cool. And then we have the Curse of the Mummy, which is, I love Egyptology. We've been playing the Tomb Raider games, the classic Tomb Raider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 over the course of the last year, since the remaster versions of 1, 2, and 3 came out last Valentine's Day. And so I played through all of those games, and I just fell back in love with Egypt. I love the study of Egypt. And so the Curse of the Mummy kind of speaks to me a little bit. And then same thing with Noir, Pinball Noir. This is a really fun table. I've always loved Noir. It's been one of my favorite movie genres. And so having this more black and white classic movie, love it. Now, what's also really cool too is you can kind of see this wall pattern here. You can customize that. So if I wanted to kind of keep into the Pinball Noir, I can make it, that gray brick and have that tone to it. Or I can have red brick, or this kind of arcadey, 70s style to it. Or the Labyrinth with red. This kind of gives me more of a Twin Peaks vibe or The Shining, but I kind of like Labyrinth one. But again, there's tons of different stuff. I love the stripes too, the green stripes. Let's keep the green stripes for now in this. We can also change the floor pattern. One of the coolest things about arcades is the floor, right? The carpet, the black light carpet, and being able to not only change the carpet, triangles, arcane blue, neon maze. You can see not only that, but you get to unlock more too, like with those spins, like I said. So that's room number one. Room number two is the Universal Classics Pinball. And we've got 3 tables here. We've got the Battlestar Galactica table based off of the more modern Battlestar Galactica series from the late 2000s. By the way, watch this show. It is so stinking good. Oh my gosh. I fell in love with this show back in 2007, 2008. I loved it. I devoured it. And the Cylons, man. So this is also cool. You can actually change out the different statues to kind of customize the layout of your room a little bit. Now, that pinball with a little swirly corkscrew, I'm digging more of the Cylon. Come on, be honest. Like, you want to see the Cylon, right? The skin jobs. But you gotta watch this show, man. It's so cool. They also made a spin-off show after Battlestar Galactica ended. They made a spin-off show called Caprica. And man, that show was really, really good, but it got canceled like most good shows, right? So if you want a really good show that did see its end on the way that it was wanting to end, like, ran its run, Battlestar Galactica from the mid-2000s. And then if you want to finish the kind of story that they were kind of setting up, watch the Caprica series. Now, we also have Xena, Warrior Princess, but I was never a big Xena fan. I'm kind of a little bit bummed. I wish they had a Hercules one. I'm a dude. I want to see Hercules, right? But you got a Xena, Warrior Princess pinball table. Can't complain too much, right? And then you got Knight Rider. Oh, who doesn't love Kit, right? And it's actually really interesting. William Daniels' birthday is today. What a kind of coinkydink, right? If you don't know who William Daniels is, he is the voice of Kit, the car in Knight Rider, but he's also Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World, okay? So there's a little bit of lore for you. And I love Knight Rider. I always thought Knight Rider was really, really cool, but I was never a huge fan of it. It was kind of on TV when I, was watching TV in the afternoons after school, but I was still pretty young, so I never got into it as much as I wanted to. But I do recognize how influential it was later on. And you know what? Let's just play this table. Let's do one round of this table, all right? So you do see that it fades into and locks you into the table so that it can load these really interesting and intricate extra set pieces. But we're gonna launch this and we're gonna play for a moment.
Amazing.
So we're gonna see how well I do with this table. And man, I gotta say, some of these more licensed tables.
I think this speed is not sufficient.
Speed is not sufficient. All right, Kit.
Wait a minute,
We'll get
I got
there.
an idea.
I gotta say, some of these tables are really, really fun, even if you're not good at them. But that's one of the cool things about pinball is you don't have to be good to enjoy yourself, but when you start learning how the table plays and works, oh man, you just have such a better time. It is so enjoyable. And again, watching kind of these little animation things are pretty cool too. All right, so I lost one ball, or on our second.
May I suggest you activate auto cruise mode for safety?
There we go. All right. So we did pretty well on that Adams what was the table? The Twilight Zone table, right? And I don't know if I'm gonna do as good on this table. Like I said, it's not been my favorite table. I haven't really had time with it yet. So I need to learn how the table works and runs and everything, but I did want to show it off. Because who doesn't love that car? Kit is one of those iconic TV and movie nerd cars. It's actually interesting. I saw a post online today about what is your favorite nerd car, and they had like maybe probably about 10 different cars on the post, and it had like the Ecto-1 from Ghostbusters, the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And when people see those types of posts, I've seen them over the years, they always go to Knight Rider. They always go to Kit. Okay, I didn't do great on that. I just got a little under 2 million. But you can see I am 8th place with 28 million. So we're just say that I got 28 million, all right? Let's exit out and let's play something else. Let's go see the other room, which, like I said, I love some of these tables more than others. Now, there's some cool customization. You can get some... Let's throw a Battlestar Galactica. There's Gaius, my homeboy. Right, Gaius Baltar, and we got a Cylon, and we got the President and Admiral Adema. I think it was Adema. Last time I watched Battlestar Galactica was 2009 when the show ended. All right, so again, you can customize each room too. So like we have this maze painting, and we still have that stripe, and we got different floorings too, right? So you can customize each room to your liking to hang out in. And then, let me back out here. We got our mummy statue, right? We got the Williams pinball room. And as you can see, we got our old pal Indiana Jones, Dr. Jones, and we got some really good tables here. Addams Family, Twilight Zone that we already played, some more, interactive stuff. And you've got these like shelves that you can actually interact with some of these items, and you can place these items in different places. You can customize what's there. So since we're right next to the Twilight Zone, let's see if I can do the Twilight Zone. Do I have a Twilight? Yeah. So gumball machine from the Twilight Zone, or the alarm clock, right? And over here we can do thing, right? Or over here, we can do Cousin It. I love it. Super cool. Now, let's see my favorite table in this entire game, Indiana Jones. All right. Indy is my favorite. We also have Star Trek The Next Generation and World Cup Soccer. So all these tables are real life tables that exist in real life that you can go and play if you know where to find them. So what we're going to do is we're going to load up Addams Family, one of my favorites. When I play pinball on my nightly stream, I always stream on Game or Die Show on Twitch every night at 11 p.m. And a lot of times when I can't remember or figure out what I want to play, I'll load up pinball for a few hours. And Addams Family is usually my first go-to one. Addams, right? So like it's alphabetical order. And it's such a good table. And if you are one of those people who want the like original experience, you can turn off these visual extras and play it that way. And it will load up the table and you can have all these visual things off. So it doesn't bother you on the table itself. So this is much more of a classic experience. So I'll probably not do super great on this one, and then we'll turn the visual effects back on. So this table is actually kind of near and dear to my heart for another reason. My dog puppy, our little puppy Viper that we just got, when you buy a breed puppy, like from a breeder and they're a show dog, my wife does dog shows and things like that. She's a show dog, and they have two names. They have their register name and the call name. The call name is the one you call the actual dog. Spot, Ruffy, Duke, whatever. Our dog Viper, her kennel name or her register name is Medusa. And so we always try to kind of incorporate part of her real register name with her call name. And so my wife and I were kind of experimenting with monster because that was the theme of the kennel for that litter of puppies. What type of monster can we get? And so we ended up with Medusa and snakes. And so Viper is what her real call name is. But we actually ended up kind of trying to figure out with the Addams Family, because my wife was like, oh, the Addams Family is a really cool pinball table, and it sounds like there's a lot of voices. And there are in this table, and that's because Raul Julia and Angelica Houston actually recorded specific lines for this game, or table specifically. So there's special lines only for this table from the 1990 movie. And I thought that was awesome. So now you can see I turned those visual enhancements on, and we got Thing kind of bouncing around, Cousin It's hanging out over there. When Thing grabs the ball at the top where his box is, we'll try and see if I can do it. It's normally just kind of a plastic hand because it's a real world table. So you get this like plastic hand that just kind of reaches in and then goes out. And it doesn't have any animation at all. It just locks the ball and pulls it in. But with these visual enhancements, you actually see Thing actually move around kind of like he's doing now and bouncing around. So it's really interesting. And I'm not doing a really good job because I haven't really been paying attention to the table itself. And I'm normally okay at this table. I'm not great at it, but I ain't doing real well tonight. I'm gonna say that much, all right? All right, so there we go. Greed. And like I said, we were trying to figure out some of the line reads on this. And some of them, we were like, oh, toxic waste. Gomez says, fumes, toxic waste, it's all ours. When they're talking about buying the mansion and the land that they have with it. And so we thought that was kind of cool. So we were like, maybe the dog should be toxic waste or toxie. And then that kind of went into like the Toxic Avenger. But we ended up going with Viper, which I think that's a rad name for a dog. Viper, right? But this table is really, really cool. And I'm honestly just having a blast. I'm not even thinking about really, showing off more of these tables than just having fun. Like, I'm just concerned with having fun right now. Oh, poor Thing. Poor Cousin It. Cousin It was always like the standout character when I was younger watching the Addams Family. All right, so we didn't do really hot on that table. We're just gonna exit out. Pretend I did well, all right? So, like I said, we've got these Williams pinball tables, and we're gonna cap off the episode tonight by showcasing probably my favorite table, Indiana Jones. So let's get started here. We're gonna have the visual extras off for one round, and then we'll turn them back on. So we'll do this table a few times because I'm pretty bad at it. So, all right, I'm not great at this table. But look we got Indy hanging out here, and we've got the Ark of the Covenant over to our left too. We found it. It's not that hard. Okay, so here we go. Indiana Jones, the table. The pinball table. It's got the classic Indiana Jones music from John Williams. And this table basically has all the 3 original movies. And yes, there are only 3 Indiana Jones movies, right? We all agree there's only 3. There never was a 4th or 5th Indiana Jones movie. Right? Right?
This is how we say goodbye in Germany.
Okay. But obviously this was made in the 90s, so there were only 3 at the time, and it incorporates Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, and Last Crusade. And I love that. I love that it's not just Raiders of the Lost Ark or just Last Crusade. It has all of them. All right, good. Ugh. I get kind of screwed sometimes with these bumpers hitting the pinball in a way to where it makes it go right down the side lanes, right down the gutter chute. And it bothers me sometimes. I go, oh, I feel that was cheap, right? Okay. So we locked ball number 1. Luckily,
Don't touch anything.
when you just start out and the ball goes right down the gutter lane, you get that little extra, hey, you know, we know that was kind of sucky, so we're going to give it back to you. We're going to just redo it again. Hey, we got another ball, and it's immediately gone, right? Well, but that's okay. We're just having fun here. We're just enjoying life right now, eternal life. As this, we got those airplanes flying by, you know, going around. Ball 2 is locked. Now, what's really interesting about this table is this was always the table that I would go to at Disneyland. Now, if you don't know, Disneyland in Southern California actually had an arcade, and it was really, really fun. But when they had the Indiana Jones ride, they actually had, for years and years and years, the Indiana Jones pinball table right across from the entrance of the Indiana Jones ride. And I lived in Southern California for most of my life, so I lived probably about 20 minutes away from Disneyland. And over the course of over a decade, for 10 years plus straight, I had an annual pass, a Disneyland annual pass, to where I could go to Disneyland day or night, any day for an entire year, after you pay X amount of dollars. And when I got older and I started driving and, you know, becoming an adult and working, I would drive to Disneyland on a whim because it was right down the street practically. You know, it was less than half an hour away. So when I was at work and I got off of work, my friends wanted to hang out. I go, hey, let's all hang out at Disneyland, because we all had passes. So there was a point in my life where I was at Disneyland at least 4 or 5 times a week. And most of the time it was just to hang out. I would maybe get off of work and I just want to kill a little bit of time. So I'd drive to Disneyland and ride Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Indiana Jones, Splash Mountain, and then leave. Or I would just ride Indy or Jungle Cruise. And that was so much fun. But they had the table there. And it was so cool to be able to play the Indiana Jones table while looking at the Indiana Jones ride, which
Don't touch anything.
is really interesting because they actually have the screen-used truck from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think it's Raiders, where Indiana Jones gets dragged underneath the truck, and he's got his whip, and he's like on the front, and then he lowers himself down underneath as it's driving. That screen-used truck is in the queue of the actual ride. It's so cool. Oh no, the Ark of the Covenant and all the ghosts. He's gotta close his eyes, Marion. Go pick up your hat, Indy. Come on. There we go. All right. So that's Indiana Jones. We'll play one more because I'm having fun, right? Okay, so 56 million, not great. Let's see where I'm at. At 18. All right, I'll take 18th on the all-time, all-leaderboard special here. All right. So we're going to turn those enhancements on. So now you're going to see the table kind of look a little bit more vibrant and alive. And we'll close out this episode with that, all right? Okay, Indy, you and me. So we got like the idol over in the top left corner. We've got the emblem in the top right corner. We got the blimp, in the middle. We got Indy down here with the tank and the Ark of the Covenant. So you can see there's like more extras, and a lot of this stuff looks more vibrant, brighter, right? And that's the one thing that I actually really do like about these visual enhancements. Everything pops a lot more, especially in VR. All right, here we go. And right down in the middle. Oh, thank you, Eternal Life. But see, that happens sometimes. I just get super screwed on a play. Both times I didn't even get to touch the ball. It just went straight down. Oh, what a bummer. Again, this ain't looking too good for me, I'll tell you what. But that's okay. Oh man, just disregard this whole entire run. All right, disregard it because I'm playing like garbage. We might just have to do another one. If my ball goes down the drain right now, we're gonna have to do it again. But like I said, I'm having fun either way, so I could be here all night long. I have so much fun. Yeah, see, there you go. Like that was basically no play. The funny thing is when I played this table at Disneyland, that usually would happen. And you can see right here, it says one play, 50 cents. Nah, dude, they had one play, $1. So you would have to spend $1 and stuff like that would happen to me, and I'd lose so much money on this table. Oh, it was such a bummer. We're gonna try that one more time because I don't feel good about that last run. All right, so here we go. And we're off to the races. Hey, look, I've had more ball control in this one single section than that entire last run on this table. Castle Greenhold.
I came here to save you, and who's gonna come to save you, Junior?
I came here to save you. The voice lines, the movie lines in this, phenomenal, by the way. Oh no, I wasn't even paying attention, shoot. I was too busy talking. Now let me tell one more story since it looks like I'll probably mess this up pretty bad here. Over the course of one of my streams when we were playing this game on the stream last year, we played for about 5 or 6 hours, and we were just hanging out, talking, right? Having a real good time in chat, just playing Indiana Jones pinball for several hours. And I was telling all the stories, kind of like the ones that I told about Disneyland and stuff. The next day after that stream was when they actually showed off the Indiana Jones new game that came out at the end of the year last year. And it was really funny because the next night when I went live and started doing the stream, everyone came back in and were like, dude, did you see the new Indiana Jones? That's crazy. We were playing Indy all night and then, that new trailer dropped and blah, blah, blah. And oh man, it was so much fun. And just in case you didn't play the new Indiana Jones game, go play it. It's coming out on PS5, so if you only got a PS5 and you've been waiting, you're almost there. I think it comes out in just like about 2 weeks from now. Maybe a week from now. I'm not really sure on the time frame from that, because I played it on Game Pass on the PC. So I did get to play all the way through. We played the entire Indiana Jones game all the way through on stream at the end of last year when it came out, and that was so much fun. I was one of the first people who actually ended up finishing that game too, which was really funny, and streaming it. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. Rest in peace, Tony Todd. I thought he was great in that role as well. And it was such a bummer to find out, oh, Tony Todd's in this game, but he already died. So it was like a posthumous type of credit to him. But that entire game, it blew me away because I was not really expecting the open worldness of the game. It's funny because it was made by Machine Games, which did the Wolfenstein modern game, so it was all first person. And when they showed off the game back earlier last year, everyone was kind of stunned. Oh my gosh, it's a Indiana Jones game that's in first person. And it's like, yeah, it's made by Machine Games. Of course it's a first person game. That's what I was expecting. I wouldn't expect it to be third person or point and click, right? Or I don't know, a RTS maybe? I don't know what people were expecting, but I fully believed that was going to be a first-person shooter type of game. Indy's not known for guns so much, but he did have that whip, and it was really fun playing with the whip in first person. All right, so we got these flippers here. Oh, it went right down into the hole. And it went right down into the hole again. Was that the last one? I think that was the last ball. Wait for it.
Top men working on it right now. Who?
Top men. Oh no! The Ark! Cover your eyes! Sorry, Indy. Well, that, my friends, is Pinball FX VR. It is super fun. It is really cool. I highly suggest it out. And again, I want to thank Zen Pinball for hooking me up with this game to be able to show it off to everyone. We're going to be playing this quite often. And hopefully they'll actually have a multiplayer aspect to it soon in an update, along with more tables to be able to play. And I cannot wait to hang out with all of you in VR. So until then, my name is Ryan Moore. You can always check me at gameordie.net. That's the website where I host all my written articles and reviews. You can always check out the streams or the YouTube channel, which has all the archive of all the nightly streams. But I do stream every night at 11 p.m. Central. Until then, take care, God bless, and I got to think of something witty and fun for saying pinball. May the pinball wizard be ever in your favor. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't think of anything, but I hope you have a wonderful day, night, wherever you are, and play some fun video games. Whether it's pinball, whether it's a first-person Indiana Jones game shooter, have some fun. Till then, see ya. Bye.